on the outer edge of the Asterian 9 battlefield, where the red desert stretched beneath a sky filled with artificial moons and distant warships. A single human soldier was trying to convince a broken machine that it still had a purpose. "Listen, K7, Marcus Hale said, holding a small energy core in his hand. "You have two options. Either you start working again, or I throw you into the recycling pit and let another machine have your job." The damaged repair drone floating above the table released a weak electronic sound. "I calculate a 97% chance that you will regret that decision," the drone replied. Marcus raised an eyebrow. "You calculated that?" "Yes. And what is the other 3%? Your decision-making process improves unexpectedly." Marcus stared at the machine for a moment. "That might be the closest thing to a compliment I've received from anyone in 3 months." The drone rotated slowly. It was not a compliment. Of course it was. Despite the constant battles surrounding them, Marcus found strange comfort in arguing with machines. The human soldiers stationed on Asterian 9 had learned that humor was sometimes the only weapon that did not run out of ammunition. Outside his small military tent, the war continued. The planet had become a battlefield between the human alliance and the ancient Illyrian Empire, a conflict that had lasted longer than most civilizations remembered. The surface of Asterian 9 was filled with abandoned alien cities, forgotten technology, and underground structures built by a species that had vanished thousands of years ago. Everyone wanted control of the planet. Nobody truly knew what was buried beneath it. Marcus had spent months guarding a small human outpost far from the main front lines. It was supposed to be a quiet assignment. At least, that was what his commander had promised. The commander had also promised the food machines would provide acceptable meals. Marcus still believed that was the greatest lie ever told by a military officer. The evening before, the food printer had created something that looked like a mixture between soup and melted metal. He had named it the enemy. Nobody disagreed, but that peaceful routine disappeared when the alarms suddenly stopped, not because the battle was over, because everyone became silent. Marcus stepped outside his tent and looked toward the center of the camp. Human soldiers who normally joked, argued, and complained about their equipment were standing perfectly still. A figure was walking between the rows of tents. Commander Vaelyra. Even the wind seemed to change direction when she approached. Every soldier knew her name. She was the Illyrian commander who had defeated entire fleets without losing a single major battle. Enemy soldiers called her the Shadow of Asterion. Her own troops called her the shield of their empire. But Marcus noticed something unusual. She was alone. No guards, no escort, no ceremonial armor. And most importantly, no sword. The soldiers around him whispered quietly, "That's impossible. She always carries Aetheris. Maybe she lost it. Someone like her doesn't lose anything." Then maybe the sword finally escaped from her. Marcus looked at the soldiers. "You realize we are discussing whether a sword left its owner voluntarily, right?" Nobody answered, because strangely that sounded possible. Vaelyra stopped in front of Marcus's tent. For a moment, neither of them moved. She was unlike any alien Marcus had ever seen. At first glance, she looked almost human, but the long, elegant ears extending from beneath her dark hair immediately revealed her Illyrian heritage. Her golden eyes carried patterns created by advanced alien evolution, and her calm expression hid years of battles and secrets. Marcus had seen pictures of her before. Pictures did not show the exhaustion in her eyes. They did not show the weight she carried. "Human soldier Marcus Hale," she said. Marcus quickly stood straight. "Commander." A pause followed. He looked behind her, then he looked around, then back at her. "Should I be worried that you came alone?" Vaelyra studied him. "Why would you ask that?" "Because powerful people usually arrive with dramatic entrances, ships landing, soldiers marching, someone announcing their name loudly." He looked around the empty area. "Your entrance is mostly just walking. For the smallest moment, something changed in Vaelyra's expression, almost a smile, almost. "You find this situation amusing?" "No, Commander, I find everything terrifying. Humor is just cheaper than therapy." The answer surprised her. For years, everyone around Vaelyra carefully chose every word. They feared making mistakes in front of her. They feared disappointing her. Marcus simply spoke. Before entering the tent, Vaelyra looked down at the ground beside her. Her sword rested there. The legendary weapon she had carried through countless battles. The weapon nobody had ever seen separated from her. Marcus noticed. "You left it outside?" "Yes." "Why?" Vaelyra looked at him. "Because I did not come here as a commander." The words carried more weight than any threat. "I came here because I need someone I can trust." Marcus became silent. That sentence was more dangerous than any weapon, because a commander like Vaelyra did not ask for help. She demanded victory. She expected obedience. Trust was something she rarely gave. She stepped inside the tent, leaving the sword behind. Outside, several human soldiers watched in disbelief. One whispered, "Do you understand what just happened?" Another nodded slowly. The most dangerous woman in the galaxy entered a human soldier's tent without a weapon. A third soldier looked worried. "Should we rescue him?" The first soldier shook his head. "No." "Why?" "Because I think she might need rescuing from him." Inside the tent, Marcus closed the entrance and faced the alien commander. The battlefield outside continued to burn, but the real war had already begun. And it was hiding inside the very army Vaelyra commanded. Inside the small human military tent, the silence between Marcus and Commander Vaelyra felt heavier than the distant explosions shaking the ground outside. Marcus had faced enemy soldiers, advanced alien weapons, and creatures from unexplored planets. But somehow, sitting across from the most feared commander in the galaxy felt much more dangerous. Because enemies usually announce themselves. Vaelyra had walked into his tent quietly. That worried him more. He looked at the empty space beside her. No guards, no hidden security drones, no tiny alien robot hiding under the table that will suddenly attack me if I say something wrong. Vaelyra looked beneath the table. There is no robot. Marcus nodded seriously. Good. Because I have already lost 3 arguments with my repair drone today. I do not need another machine judging me. For a brief moment, the commander's expression softened. It was barely noticeable, but Marcus saw it. She almost smiled. The legendary Illyrian commander who had made entire fleets surrender had almost laughed at a human soldier's terrible jokes. That realization somehow made Marcus even more nervous. Vaelyra stood near the small holographic display on the table. With a movement of her hand, she activated it. A blue projection appeared above the device, showing the Asterian 9 battlefield, military networks, and hundreds of encrypted communication signals. Marcus leaned forward. At first he expected ordinary military information. Enemy positions, supply routes, attack plans. Instead, he saw something far more disturbing. Hidden messages, thousands of them. Buried beneath official Illyrian command channels. "Those are inside your own network?" Marcus asked. Vaelyra nodded. "Yes." "That seems like a bad place to hide something." Her eyes moved toward him. "What do you mean?" Marcus pointed at the hologram. "If I wanted to hide something, I would not put it inside the most protected military system in the galaxy. That is like hiding a secret message on the front page of every newspaper." Vaelyra looked at him silently. Then she said, "The encryption is extremely advanced." "Right," Marcus nodded. "So it is like hiding the newspaper inside a locked box." "Yes." "And everyone knows where the box is." "Yes." He crossed his arms. "Still sounds like a terrible hiding place." The commander looked at the projection again. For anyone else, that comment might have been considered disrespectful. But Vaelyra had spent years surrounded by people who agreed with every decision she made. Nobody questioned her ideas anymore. Marcus did. And strangely, that was exactly what she needed. "The messages were discovered 3 cycles ago," Vaelyra explained. I ordered my intelligence division to investigate quietly. Your own intelligence division. Yes. And they found something. They disappeared. The humor vanished from Marcus's face. Disappeared. Every officer assigned to the investigation. The hologram changed. Images appeared. Illyrian commanders, scientists, military strategists, all missing. They were not captured by the enemy, Vaelyra continued. They were erased from the system. Their records, missions, even personal histories were altered. Marcus stared at the images. That is impossible. Vaelyra looked at him. Why? Because deleting someone from a military database is difficult. He pointed toward the projection. But deleting someone's entire existence, that requires access to systems nobody should control. That is why I came here. Marcus looked confused. Because I am good with computers. No, because I am a brilliant strategist. No, because I have excellent leadership skills. Vaelyra looked at him. Marcus sighed. I had to try. For the first time the commander actually smiled. A small one, almost invisible. You are different from the others. I get that a lot. Usually people become nervous when they are near me. Marcus looked around the tent. I am nervous. You do not act like it. That is because humans have a useful survival technique. What technique? Pretending we know what we are doing. Vaelyra studied him carefully. For years she had worked beside warriors who showed no fear. But she had learned that many of them were simply hiding it. Marcus was different. He admitted fear, and continued anyway. That was something she respected. She expanded the hologram again. A new image appeared. An ancient underground structure beneath Asterion 9. Marcus immediately recognized it. The old alien ruins. Yes. What does this have to do with your military? Vaelyra hesitated. That hesitation told Marcus everything. The answer was worse than he expected. The ruins contained technology from the First Galactic Era. Marcus became serious. The First Galactic Era was almost a myth. Thousands of years ago, before modern civilizations existed, an unknown species had created machines capable of manipulating energy, gravity, and even biological evolution. Most of their technology had vanished, but rumors said some remained hidden. What kind of technology? Marcus asked. Vaelyra lowered her voice. A weapon. The word remained in the air. A weapon powerful enough to destroy entire planets. Outside the tent, another explosion shook the ground. Marcus looked toward the entrance. So let me understand this. He counted on his fingers. Your own commanders are secretly searching for an ancient planet-destroying weapon. Yes. They erased everyone who discovered the truth. Yes. And you came to a human soldier because you cannot trust your own people. Yes. Marcus nodded slowly. That is officially the worst day I have ever had. Vaelyra raised an eyebrow. You have survived dozens of battles. Yes. You fought alien creatures. Yes. You were nearly killed 3 times. Yes. And this is worse. Marcus pointed at the hologram. Those things wanted to kill me. These people want to destroy the galaxy and probably expect me to fill out paperwork afterward. The commander looked at him. Then, unexpectedly, she laughed. Not loudly. Not like a warrior celebrating victory. Like someone who had forgotten what laughter felt like. For a moment the war outside disappeared. But only for a moment. Because suddenly, Marcus's communication device activated. A message appeared. One of his own commanders was calling. Vaelyra immediately turned toward the screen. Her expression changed. The small moment of peace vanished. Because the message was not a normal military order. It contained only 3 words. We found him. Marcus looked at Vaelyra. Found who? The commander stared at the message, then slowly reached toward the hologram. Me. The lights inside the tent flickered. And somewhere beneath the surface of Asterion 9, something ancient awakened. The message remained floating above the communication device. We found him. For several seconds, Marcus and Vaelyra did not speak. The only sound inside the tent was the quiet hum of the holographic projector and the distant explosions echoing across the battlefield. Marcus looked at the message again, then at Vaelyra, then back at the message. "I have a question." Vaelyra's eyes remained fixed on the screen. "What question? Is there any chance they meant someone else?" "No, maybe another Marcus." "No. Maybe a very unlucky alien with a similar name." Vaelyra finally looked at him. "Your name is unique among the military records." Marcus sighed. "I was hoping there were at least 3 other people making my life difficult." The commander did not answer, but the slight movement of her ears showed she was trying not to react. Marcus had started noticing something about Illyrians. Their emotions were difficult to read for humans, but not impossible. Their long ears moved slightly when they were surprised, annoyed, or amused. Right now, Vaelyra was definitely amused, which was strange, because moments ago they had been discussing a conspiracy that could destroy civilizations. "Commander," Marcus said, pointing at the message. "How exactly did they find me?" Vaelyra stepped closer to the holographic display. "That is what concerns me." She scanned the communication signal. A series of alien symbols appeared. Marcus watched as her fingers moved through the holographic interface, analyzing the data. "The signal did not come from outside the camp," she said. Marcus frowned. "Then where?" Vaelyra looked directly at him. "Inside." The answer made the air feel colder. Someone inside the human base had sent the message. Someone knew Vaelyra was there. Someone knew she had trusted Marcus. Marcus slowly looked toward the entrance of his tent. "So just to confirm," he lowered his voice, "there might be a spy outside, yes, possibly waiting to attack, yes, and we are sitting here, yes." Marcus looked around. "Should we maybe do something?" Vaelyra remained calm. "We are doing something. We are, yes." "What?" "We are thinking." Marcus nodded slowly. "Excellent, my favorite military strategy. Sitting down and hoping the universe becomes confused." For the first time, Vaelyra looked genuinely entertained. "You joke when you are afraid." Marcus shrugged. "Humans have many survival methods. Some run, some fight, some hide. And you?" "I make bad jokes until the problem becomes embarrassed and leaves." The commander studied him. "That strategy has never worked." Marcus smiled. "You would be surprised how often people walk away because they do not know how to respond." Vaelyra almost smiled again, but then the hologram changed. A new signal appeared, a hidden transmission. Marcus immediately noticed something unusual. "Wait." Vaelyra turned. "What?" "That code. You recognize it." Marcus leaned closer. "Not exactly, but I have seen something similar." The commander became serious. "Where?" Marcus hesitated. 3 months ago, during a supply mission." He touched the holographic image. "Our ship detected a strange energy pattern near the ruins. Command told us it was a malfunction." Vaelyra's expression changed. "It was not a malfunction." No, it was an activation signal." Marcus stared at her. "Activation signal for what?" Vaelyra did not answer immediately. That silence was enough. "The weapon," Marcus whispered. Vaelyra nodded. The ancient technology buried beneath Asterion 9 was not sleeping. It had been waiting. And someone had already started waking it. Suddenly, the ground shook violently. The hologram disappeared. The lights inside the tent turned red. An emergency alarm echoed through the entire human camp. Marcus grabbed his weapon. "Please tell me this is a normal alarm." Vaelyra listened carefully. "It is not." "Of course it is not." He looked upward. "I miss normal problems." The tent entrance suddenly opened. A human soldier stood outside, breathing heavily. "Private Hale," Marcus turned. "What happened?" The soldier looked terrified. "Commander, we have a problem." Vaelyra stepped forward. "What problem?" The soldier swallowed. "The security systems detected unauthorized access beneath the base." Marcus and Vaelyra exchanged a glance. "Beneath the base," Marcus repeated. The soldier nodded. "Someone entered the underground ruins." Vaelyra immediately understood. "They are trying to activate the weapon." The soldier looked confused. "Commander, how do you know about that?" The silence returned. The soldier slowly reached for his weapon. Marcus noticed. "Wait." The soldier stopped. Marcus looked at Vaelyra, then at the soldier. Then back at Vaelyra. Please tell me this is not the part where everyone points weapons at each other. Nobody moved, Marcus sighed. I hate being right. The soldier's eyes narrowed. Commander Vaelyra, you are under suspicion for unauthorized infiltration of the human military base. Vaelyra remained calm. Who gave that order? The soldier hesitated. A small delay, but Marcus noticed. Someone had prepared this. Someone wanted Vaelyra isolated. Someone wanted her blamed. Marcus slowly stepped between them. The soldier aimed his weapon. Private, move aside. Marcus raised his hands. Before anyone does something dramatic, can we discuss one thing? The soldier stared at him. What? Marcus pointed toward the battlefield outside. An ancient alien weapon is about to activate. There is a conspiracy inside both our armies, and we are possibly moments away from a galaxy-wide disaster. He paused, so maybe this is not the best time for an argument about who entered whose tent. The soldier hesitated. Even Vaelyra looked slightly surprised. Marcus continued. Trust me, I know military rules. I have read at least half of the manual. Half, yes. Which half? The important-looking half. The commander looked at him. You did not read the manual. No. A strange silence followed. Then Vaelyra stepped forward. This soldier is telling the truth. The soldier looked at her. You believe him? Vaelyra glanced at Marcus. Yes. That single word carried enormous weight. The feared Illyrian commander had chosen to trust a human soldier in front of everyone. But before anyone could respond, the ground beneath them shook again. This time stronger. A deep sound traveled through the planet. Not an explosion, not a machine, something older, something waking up. The holographic systems across the camp activated by themselves. A message appeared in ancient alien symbols. Vaelyra stared at it, her face changed. Marcus noticed. What does it say? The commander slowly translated. Her voice became quiet. It says, she looked toward the ground beneath them. The Chosen One has returned. Marcus blinked. Chosen One? Vaelyra looked at him. Yes. And who exactly is that? For several seconds nobody spoke. Then Vaelyra answered, You. Marcus stared at Commander Vaelyra as if he had just heard the strangest sentence in the history of military conversations. You. He pointed at himself. Me? Vaelyra nodded. Yes. Marcus looked around the tent, then behind him, then under the table. Are you sure there isn't another human standing here that I somehow cannot see? The commander remained serious. There is no one else. That is disappointing. Why? Because I was hoping the universe had chosen a more qualified person. Vaelyra looked at him. You survived multiple battles, repaired alien technology without training, and discovered hidden information inside a military encryption system. Marcus raised a finger. First of all, I repaired that technology because it was broken and I was angry. A pause. Second, I discovered the encryption system because I accidentally pressed the wrong button. Vaelyra's eyes narrowed slightly. Accidentally? Yes. You accessed classified alien data by accident. Marcus nodded. When you say it like that, it sounds less impressive. The commander looked back at the ancient message floating above the holographic display. The words continued glowing with energy that did not belong to any modern civilization. The first galactic-era technology was not supposed to recognize anyone, especially not a human soldier. For thousands of years, civilizations had searched for the lost systems of the ancient builders. Scientists believed the creators had disappeared after developing technology beyond imagination. Machines that could bend gravity, engines that could cross galaxies, artificial intelligence that could learn emotions, weapons that could erase planets. But one mystery remained. The ancient builders had left behind a final message. A message about someone who would return when the galaxy faced its darkest moment. Nobody knew what it meant. Until now. Marcus crossed his arms. Let me understand this. He pointed toward the hologram. An ancient alien civilization that disappeared thousands of years ago created a message predicting someone would appear. Yes. And that someone is apparently me. Yes. And I am supposed to believe this because, Vaelyra interrupted. Because the ancient system activated when you touched the technology. Marcus became quiet. He remembered the supply mission, the abandoned ruins, the strange device hidden beneath the surface. The moment he placed his hand on the ancient structure. At the time, he thought he had simply damaged another piece of alien equipment. Now he wondered if it had been waiting for him. I thought I broke it, he admitted. Vaelyra looked confused. You activated a civilization-level artifact and believed you damaged it. Marcus shrugged. It made a loud noise and started glowing. Usually that means something is broken. The commander stared at him. That is not how advanced technology works. You would be surprised. I have worked with military machines that explode when they are working perfectly. A sudden movement outside interrupted them. The human soldiers surrounding the tent received another emergency signal. The underground ruins were opening, not slowly, not naturally. The entire ancient structure beneath the base was moving. The ground separated, revealing massive energy pathways beneath the surface. Blue light traveled through the cracks like rivers flowing beneath the planet. Everyone watching became silent. Even the soldiers who had doubted Vaelyra now understood something impossible was happening. The ancient ruins were responding. To Marcus. Vaelyra stepped outside. Marcus followed. Should I mention that I have never been comfortable being the center of attention? You are standing before technology older than your civilization. Yes. You may be the key to preventing a galactic war. Yes. Yet you are uncomfortable. Marcus looked at the hundreds of soldiers watching him. I preferred when people ignored me. Vaelyra looked at him. That is difficult to believe. It is true, being ignored has many benefits. Such as, nobody asks you to save the galaxy. For a brief moment Vaelyra smiled, but the moment disappeared when a massive holographic figure appeared above the ruins. A face, ancient, unknown, not human, not Illyrian. A message from the forgotten era. Every communication device on the planet activated. The voice that followed was not heard through speakers. It was heard directly inside their minds. The balance has been broken. The soldiers froze. Marcus touched his head. Is anyone else hearing this? Every soldier slowly raised a hand. Good, Marcus said. I was worried I was finally losing my mind. Vaelyra looked at the ancient projection. What does it mean? The voice continued. The guardians have fallen, the betrayers have risen. The hologram changed. Images appeared. Illyrian commanders. Human military leaders. Secret meetings. Ancient weapons. A conspiracy that crossed species and generations. Marcus watched in disbelief. They planned this for centuries. Vaelyra's expression darkened. Yes, your own commanders. Yes, and human officials too. Yes, Marcus shook his head. I thought my paperwork was bad. He looked at the endless conspiracy map. This is an entirely different level of bureaucracy. Nobody laughed, except Vaelyra. A quiet laugh escaped her. The soldiers looked shocked. Their commander almost never laughed, but Marcus had managed to make the impossible happen, even in the middle of a potential galactic collapse. The ancient message continued. The one who carries the forgotten energy must choose. A symbol appeared above Marcus's hand, the same symbol that had appeared on the ancient device months ago. Vaelyra noticed immediately. The mark. Marcus looked at his hand. A faint golden pattern was glowing beneath his skin. What is happening to me? Vaelyra stepped closer. For the first time, Marcus saw uncertainty in her eyes, not fear, something deeper. The ancient technology has connected with you. That sounds dangerous. It is. How dangerous? Vaelyra looked toward the awakening ruins. If the legends are correct, she paused. You are the only person who can stop the weapon. Marcus sighed. I knew this day was going too well. Vaelyra looked at him. You discovered an ancient secret, exposed a galaxy-wide conspiracy, and became the hope of 2 civilizations. Yes. That is not going well. Marcus looked at the massive alien ruins opening beneath them. I have had quieter mornings. Then the ground shook again. A hidden chamber beneath Asterion 9 opened, and from the darkness below, something ancient began to rise. The entire human camp had become silent. For the first time since the war on Asterion 9 began, nobody was looking at the enemy. Nobody was looking at the sky. Everyone was looking at Marcus Hale. The golden symbol beneath his skin continued glowing as the ancient chamber beneath the planet opened wider. Energy flowed upward from the forgotten structure, passing through the ground like invisible rivers. The soldiers surrounding him kept their weapons ready, but nobody moved. They had seen alien technology before. They had seen advanced machines, artificial intelligence, and weapons capable of destroying cities. But they had never seen technology react to a human being. Marcus looked at his glowing hand. "I have a question." Vaelyra turned toward him. "What? Is this the part where I suddenly gain incredible powers?" The commander studied him. "I do not know, because if I am becoming some legendary hero, I would like a little warning." "A warning?" "Yes, maybe a message, a dramatic voice. Something like, 'Congratulations, Marcus. You are now responsible for saving the galaxy.'" Vaelyra looked at him. "You are currently responsible for saving the galaxy." Marcus sighed. "Exactly. A terrible announcement." Despite everything happening around them, Vaelyra noticed something unusual. Marcus was afraid. She could see it. But he was still standing. That was something many warriors failed to do. Courage was not the absence of fear. It was moving forward while carrying it. The ancient chamber beneath them suddenly released a powerful energy wave. Every electronic device in the area shut down. Weapons powered off. Communication systems disappeared. Even the military drones hovering above the camp fell from the sky. Marcus looked upward as one drone crashed into the sand. Was that supposed to happen? Vaelyra watched the ancient structure carefully. "Yes. And you sound completely calm." "I am. Why? Because if the ancient technology wanted us dead, we would already be dead." Marcus looked at the destroyed drone. "That is strangely comforting." The ground opened completely. A massive platform rose from beneath the surface. On top of it stood an ancient machine. Not a weapon, not a war machine, something different, a guardian. Its body was made from a material that seemed to change between metal and energy. Its design was unlike anything created by modern civilizations. The machine looked toward Marcus, then toward Vaelyra. A voice echoed through the battlefield. "Guardian identification complete." Marcus pointed at himself. "Please tell me it is not calling me Guardian." Vaelyra looked at him. "It is. I already dislike this title." The ancient machine continued. "The final protector has returned after thousands of cycles." Marcus looked at Vaelyra. "Thousands of cycles? Yes. So technically I am very late." Vaelyra almost smiled. "Apparently." The machine extended one arm. A holographic map appeared above them. The galaxy, thousands of worlds, thousands of civilizations, and at the center was Asterion 9. Then several red symbols appeared. Enemy movements, secret military bases, hidden weapon systems. The conspiracy was much larger than Vaelyra had discovered. The betrayal did not begin recently. It had been growing for centuries. "The generals," Vaelyra whispered. Marcus looked at her. "You recognize them?" "Yes." Images appeared. Illyrian commanders, some of the most respected leaders in the Empire, people Vaelyra had fought beside, people she had trusted. They were preparing this for generations. Marcus watched her expression. For the first time he saw the pain behind the legendary commander. She was not angry because enemies had betrayed her. She was hurt because friends had. "Vaelyra." She looked at him. "You do not have to face this alone." The words surprised her. Most people told her she was strong. They told her she was unbeatable. Nobody ever told her she did not have to carry everything herself. The commander looked away. "My entire life has been dedicated to protecting the Illyrian Empire." Marcus nodded. "That sounds exhausting." "It is my duty. Duties are important." He looked around. "But even machines need repairs." Vaelyra looked at him. Are you comparing me to a machine? No. A pause. Actually, maybe a little. For a moment, the impossible happened. The feared commander of the Illyrian Empire laughed, not because the situation was funny, because Marcus somehow made a terrifying moment feel human. Then the ancient guardian changed the hologram. A new image appeared. A man, a human, standing beside ancient alien leaders. Marcus froze. That is impossible. Vaelyra looked at him. You know him? Marcus stepped closer. The face was familiar, too familiar. It was his family symbol, his grandfather's face. My grandfather. Silence followed. Vaelyra looked at him carefully. Your grandfather was involved with the ancient guardians. Marcus shook his head. No, he stared at the image. My family was never connected to anything like this. The guardian responded. Incorrect. The machine projected more information. Human bloodlines, ancient alliances, hidden records. Marcus's family had not been ordinary. They had been protecting the secret for generations, but nobody had told him. His entire life had been built on a hidden truth. Marcus stepped back. So my grandfather knew about all of this? Yes. And he never said anything? Yes. Marcus looked offended. Wonderful. He crossed his arms. I finally discover my family has a huge ancient secret and they still manage to keep it from me. Vaelyra looked confused. You are angry? Yes. Because they protected you? No. Then why? Because apparently everyone in the galaxy knew something important except me. The commander tilted her head. That is your greatest concern? Yes. Marcus pointed toward the ancient weapon systems appearing on the hologram. I understand the galaxy-ending threat. He pointed toward the family records, but this, he shook his head, this is the real betrayal. Vaelyra looked at him. You are unusual, Marcus Hale. I hear that often. The ancient guardian suddenly interrupted. Warning. The hologram turned red. A massive fleet appeared above Asterion 9, not human, not Illyrian. A hidden army waiting beyond the planet's atmosphere. The conspirators had arrived. Vaelyra immediately reached for her sword, then stopped. She remembered. She had left it outside Marcus's tent because she trusted him. And now she understood why. Because the first battle they needed to win was not against the enemy. It was against the people they once called allies. Marcus looked toward the sky. So, he picked up his weapon. The galaxy is ending. Vaelyra activated the ancient guardian system. Not if we stop them. Marcus nodded. Good. A pause. Because I have already had a very complicated day. Above them, the hidden fleet descended. And for the first time in centuries, humanity and the Illyrian Empire stood together against the same enemy. The sky above Asterion 9 burned with the light of thousands of energy weapons. The hidden fleet that had waited beyond the planet's atmosphere finally revealed itself. Massive warships emerged from hyperspace, their engines creating waves of distorted gravity around them. They carried technology stolen from ancient civilizations, weapons created from the secrets buried beneath the planet. For centuries, they had prepared for this moment. They believed nobody could stop them. They were wrong. Because standing beneath the ancient ruins was someone they never expected. A human soldier who had accidentally become the key to saving the galaxy. Marcus Hale looked at the approaching fleet. Then he looked at Commander Vaelyra. So just to make sure I understand the plan, Vaelyra activated the ancient guardian system. We stopped them. Marcus nodded. Simple. Yes. Very simple. Yes. A pause. Usually when someone says something is simple, it becomes the most complicated thing imaginable. Vaelyra looked at him. That is because you are human. Marcus smiled. Finally, something we agree on. The ancient guardian rose completely from the underground chamber. Energy flowed through its body as it connected with the planet's forgotten systems. The machine was not designed to destroy. It was designed to protect. A massive energy field expanded around Asterion 9, blocking the enemy fleet's first attack. The conspirators had expected a weapon. They found a shield. Above them, enemy commanders transmitted a message. A familiar voice appeared. An Illyrian general, one of Vaelyra's former allies. "Commander Vaelyra," he said, "you always were difficult to control." Vaelyra stared at the hologram. "You betrayed your own empire." The general smiled. "No, I saved it. By destroying countless worlds, by creating order." Marcus shook his head. "I have heard that sentence before." Vaelyra glanced at him. "Where?" "Every villain who thinks they are the hero says something like that." The general looked confused. "Who is this human?" Marcus raised his hand. "Unfortunately, the person currently ruining your plans." The general ignored him. "Vaelyra, step aside. The ancient technology belongs to those strong enough to use it." Vaelyra's expression hardened. "No, you would protect humans. I would protect everyone." The general laughed. "You were always too idealistic." Marcus looked at Vaelyra. That sounded like a compliment disguised as an insult. It was not. It usually is. The battle began. Human ships launched from the surface while Illyrian forces that had remained loyal to Vaelyra joined the fight. For the first time in generations, two civilizations fought together instead of against each other. But the enemy had one advantage. They controlled the ancient weapon. Deep beneath Asterion 9, the hidden system began activating. The ground shook. The Guardian warned them. Ancient weapon activation at 87%. Marcus looked at the machine. "Can we stop it?" "Only the Guardian key can override the system." Everyone looked at Marcus. He sighed. "I was afraid you would say that." Vaelyra stepped beside him. "You do not have to do this." Marcus looked at her. "You came into my tent without your sword because you trusted me." "Yes, you believed in me before I believed in myself." Vaelyra remained silent. Marcus looked toward the ancient chamber. "I spent my whole life thinking I was just another soldier." He looked at the symbol on his hand. "Maybe I was wrong." The Guardian opened a pathway into the underground structure. Marcus entered. Vaelyra followed. "You cannot come with me," Marcus said. "I know, but you are coming anyway." "Yes." "Why?" The commander looked at him. "Because you are no longer fighting alone." Those words stayed with Marcus because that was the biggest change. He had spent years believing survival meant depending only on himself. Now he understood something different. Strength was not carrying every burden alone. Strength was trusting others to stand beside you. Deep beneath the planet, Marcus reached the ancient control chamber. The weapons system waited. A machine capable of ending civilizations. The Guardian spoke. "The Guardian key requires a choice." Marcus frowned. "A choice? Asterisk power or protection." The chamber displayed two options: control the weapon or destroy it forever. Marcus thought about all the battles, all the fear. All the people who wanted power because they believed only they could control it. He knew the answer. No one should own this. He placed his hand on the ancient system. "I choose protection." The energy changed. The weapon began shutting down. Across the galaxy, hidden systems connected to the ancient weapon disappeared one by one. The conspirators lost control. Their centuries-long plan ended in minutes. When Marcus and Vaelyra returned to the surface, the enemy fleet was retreating. The war was over, not because one side destroyed the other, because the secret weapon that had fueled the conflict no longer existed. Weeks later, Asterion 9 was no longer a battlefield. Human and Illyrian scientists worked together inside the ancient ruins, studying the technology and ensuring nobody would misuse it again. Vaelyra stood before the united council of both civilizations. Many expected her to return to being the untouchable commander. Instead, she changed. She listened more, she trusted more, and she no longer carried every responsibility alone. Marcus remained a soldier, but not an ordinary one. The galaxy knew his name now, not because he was the strongest warrior, not because he commanded the largest fleet, because when everyone searched for power, he chose responsibility. One evening, Marcus found Vaelyra outside the restored ancient chamber. Her sword rested beside her. He smiled. "You brought it back." She looked at the blade. "Yes. Still carrying it everywhere." Yes. Does it ever complain? Vaelyra looked at him. It is a sword. Marcus nodded. Right, sorry, after everything that happened I thought maybe it had opinions. For a moment she looked serious. Then she smiled, a real smile. You are still impossible. And yet you keep visiting my tent. Vaelyra looked away. I did that once. Once was enough. The commander shook her head, but she was smiling. The galaxy had changed. An ancient secret had been revealed. A war that lasted centuries had finally ended. And the most unexpected hero of that era was not a king, not a general, and not a legendary warrior. He was a human soldier who fixed broken machines, made terrible jokes, and convinced the most feared commander in the galaxy to leave her sword outside. Because sometimes the greatest changes in history do not begin with a weapon. They begin with trust.